So guys, I just visited SandakPhu, the highest peak in West Bengal at 11,929 feet, famous in the northeast for a picturesque sight of the majestic Everest and the holy Kanchanganga Ranges. It was one hell of a trip, so fasten your seatbelts as it's time to fly. My real journey began from Bagdogra in the Darjeeling district of West Bengal, which is well connected to Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore and Kolkata by air. But what's worth mentioning is that the airport is really small and super busy, so do keep adequate time at hand if you're planning to book outgoing flights from here. If you're more of a train person, the nearest train station is NJP in Siliguri, which is about 20 kilometers from the Bagdogra airport IXP. Most treks to SandakPhu begin from villages near Manebhanjam, which is connected to Bagdogra by crisscrossing ghats, and a typical journey in a private sumo took about 5 to 6 hours. After a good night's sleep under the starry skies at Kopidhara, we were on our way to Tumling. The real difficulty I faced during this trek in early December was the freezing cold that kicked in after the early sunsets in this region, which typically happen as soon as 5 pm. I needed to wear multiple layers and a warm downs jacket, despite the fact we were staying in cozy homestays with warm fleece blankets almost every night. The cold gets even worse in January when blizzards are common and the trails and villages are layered with blinding snow. Doing the SandakPhu trails in snowy times would have made for a beautiful trek, but I'm not sure how confident I would have been. The overall winter vegetation that I saw wasn't too special and nothing you'd want to write home about, but it paved the way for some picturesque and clear blue skies with inspiring views of various northern ranges gleaming over the horizon. Avid trekkers go post-April for the beautiful magnolia and rhododendrons, which were yet to bloom in early December when I was there. As we reached Tumling and we were gaining height, it was definitely getting colder and colder every morning and every night. But it was Tumling that gave us our first look at the beautiful Kanchanganga Ranges. Another beautiful element about the SandakPhu trek for me was the ability to hop between India and Nepal, as SandakPhu is strategically located along the West Bengal and Nepal border. So the next leg of our trek was moving from Tumling to Kalapokhari at 10,400 feet, and it was a 14-kilometer long trek. Kalapokhari is known as the Black Lake, and that's not due to its black water, but because of the black soil which makes the lake appear black. After a good night's sleep in the village of Kalapokhari in Nepal, we were on our way to SandakPhu, our ultimate destination for the ultimate view. At this particular point, we had the choice of going via Nepal, via India, or via the border, and we chose the border, of course. So guys, I would rate the SandakPhu trek that I did in early December to be an easy trek with a pleasant choice of dry trails running along motorized roads. But there's nothing technically challenging about this trek other than the freezing cold. The trail has strategic halts at incremental elevations, thus greatly reducing the chances of developing AMS, and I'm really happy to tell you that I didn't have to take any time off.
Colder and colder. And I'm at the boulder stone. See right here. India. This is Nepal.
It was freezing cold at 5:20 in the morning, but we just had to get up to see the Sleeping Buddha Range being blessed by the first rays of the sun. And yes, the entire Everest Range was visible too, but Mount Everest was just too shy to say hi. For an even better view of the Kanchanganga Ranges, some trekkers also proceed ahead to Falut, which is the second highest peak in West Bengal. But since we didn't have that much time, we decided to proceed down to Sepi, and it was a long downhill 14-kilometer walk. So major chunks of the trek run besides motorable roads constructed by PWD bodies, and thanks to Land Rover Shell 4x4s, SandakPhu has become a popular hill station for the northeastern residents, although the road is just too bumpy for my liking. The region didn't feel majorly commercialized or modernized, but wired and solar electricity was available at most villages that we stayed in. What's worth mentioning is that the network of homestays is pretty neat and offers trekkers shade, hot food and warm blankets for getting a good night's sleep. These homes have indeed made traversing and touring in these remote and icy Nepali villages a piece of cake.
आपका नाम क्या है? वापस बोलो.
There's just something about the Himalayan air and the mesmerizing starry skies that makes you want to keep coming back for more. The mountains keep calling, as that's evidently where I feel most alive. And great men have said, the top of one mountain is the bottom of another. And this phrase feels so right that I won't stop at nothing to come back. With a heavy heart, it's time to say goodbye to all the beautiful people and mountains who've been with me. Until next time. You're not in the mountains are in you.